Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. CIG have filed their annual accounts for the year ending 2023 in the UK. We will be talking about some of the highlights for that and addressing some of the odd drama that I've seen around this. I suppose people are just interpreting finances and statistics and accounts based on a limited amount of information, so people will draw loads of different random conclusions. We also have a pint-sized This Week in Star Citizen for you as well. But firstly, Alpha 4.1.1 Evocati, that new patch for the end of April, I suppose, is when it's going to go live. At least it appears to be. That Evocati patch is incoming real soon. CIG said, we are currently working through the latest 4.1.1 branch to get it ready and are intending on having a PTU build early ready for Evocati this week. So we're going to have some more info on that patch within the next couple of days, hopefully. And though we can't show any video of the patch's gameplay until it goes to wider PTU due to the Evocati NDA, we can talk about its contents and its patch notes and that sort of stuff. So it should be pretty interesting. We are still waiting on CIG's financial statements that they're going to be posting on their website. In the meantime, we do have the UK filings that CIG have just made. This is from a 50-page document and just covers some of the operations of the company, mostly focusing on the UK and covering mostly 2023. I'm not an accountant. I may have misunderstood some of these bits. These are my opinions on what I've seen. I also took a look at Drinkers with Gaming Problems video on this and an article from the Nosy Gamer alongside loads of different things on Reddit. This is my understanding of what I have read, and I might jump a little bit between UK pounds and US dollars. So bear with me. These are some highlights of what I read. And as I said, this is focused on the UK operations, isn't representative of CIG as a whole. There's loads of other parts of CIG, and a lot of their profit does come from outside the UK. From 2023, revenue was £47.9 million. This is up 7.4% from the previous year. Costs, they are 67.7 million, up over 56% from the previous year. And the net loss has been shown here as £8.4 million compared to £8.5 million profit in 2022. That's a stark difference, though that is not the full story for costs and net loss. Cash reserves are being shown at 13.5 million. They saved 11.8 million in tax credits and subsidies from operating in the UK, and they've had a massive increase in staff from 574 in 2022 to 854 in 2023. Obviously, that is 1,100 staff or more, potentially approaching 1,200 or more in 2025. The accounts here show a £8.4 million loss on the books. Why is that? Why are costs so high? Well, this is due to a few things. General costs rising, big new studio, more staff, and CIG put down their UK studio office as a £10 million liability. This is because they have to return that office in A-grade condition if and when they leave. As I understand it, that money hasn't gone anywhere. They're just saying that's a £10 million liability, and that's actually shown up in costs and net loss. It's kind of accountancy tricks used to save money. And as mentioned earlier, revenue's up, but not all the revenue is made in the UK. But most of the costs are, and we should see a big drop in US costs as well because of the focusing of CIG on that UK operation. Another big purchase from CIG was acquiring the remaining 75% of the Turbulent studio for £4.3 million. Apparently, this also had the bonus of having the $2.9 million owed for the studio already wiped off the books, and I believe the $1.9 million owed to the Turbulent co-founders count as employee expenses. So from my point of view, that just looks like they're trying to do stuff as tax efficiently as possible. Shareholders and the put option. Some of this I found a bit confusing, but I'll explain what I know about the put option as it's referred to as. CIG has some shareholders, and from what I can tell, shareholders like the Culders have options to have CIG repurchase their shares in the future. I believe that they've invested around 63.25 million into CIG, 46 million in 2018 and 17.25 million in 2020. So this option to have CIG repurchase their shares in the future has caused some confusion and conflict with CIG's auditors when listing it as a liability. So they're saying we need more information about exactly what this option allows and provides and how we should list it as a liability on the accounts. And CIG are saying that it's so remote a chance that the option will be used that it should be overlooked. It is what I can tell what's going on here. And this looks to be one of the reasons that these accounts were filed late, at least from what I can tell. And again, from what I can tell, it's unlikely that that option will get used. But for example, if all the shares were cashed in the future, and I think the earliest they can do it is 2027, 2028, with the put option, it might be around 115 to 125 million that potentially would be requested to be cashed out. This could be an exit strategy for after the release of Squadron 42 or Star Citizen 1.0 or both, but I would expect them to probably keep the money in there and draw it down in profits each year, personally. And there also appears to be a provision to prevent any danger to the running of the company and normal operations if this option is exercised. So they can't forcibly take the money, it can't forcibly be liquidated if it's not sensibly available. Interestingly, something that's more 2025 related, it looks like shares are being sold to existing shareholders. Around 5 million were sold in January of this year to an existing shareholder. It looks like CIG borrowed 10 million as well from a shareholder in March of this year. I know that there are accountancy efficiencies and director's loan stuff and all that sort of stuff that could be going on here, and that needs to be repaid by the end of 2027. We're likely going to know more when CIG post their financial statements on the Cloud Imperium Games website regarding all of this, and yeah, get a lot more context is what I'm hoping for, and hopefully this will be pretty soon that they'll post that. We do know that they have reduced their US liabilities significantly recently though, but there are a variety of other studios and operations to consider. I'm really interested to know any thoughts and questions you might have on this in the comments below. It looks to me like CIG are continuing to make record-breaking amounts of money while also doing a mixture of streamlining and building their business for the future, as well as preparing for a major release with Squadron 42 and Star Citizen 1.0 thereafter, assumedly. We certainly do not have the full picture though, and I thought it would be worth mentioning what I could see and the highlights of those financial filings, because I saw loads of people talking about them and coming up with really odd conclusions without the full picture, and looking at something that I think was an obvious objective positive and saying it's signs that something terrible is happening or that their finances aren't healthy. But to me, it just looks like a company trying to be as tax efficient as possible, but that's just my point of view on that. This week in Star Citizen, so CIG put out a post. Last week we kicked off Triggerfish, which is the April Fool's celebration, and we hope you had as much fun experiencing it as we did putting it together. This year we introduced a brand new limited Arena Commander free fly map, Easy Hab. Watching tiny pilots navigate a giant-sized hab was as entertaining as it was ridiculous in the best way. If you could shrink down for another location in the verse, where would it be? Let us know. We also recognise the most active contributors from the recent 4.0 testing phases on the public test universe with our latest test universe champions. Their dedication and detailed feedback were massive help in squashing bugs and shaping a range of quality of life improvements. Hats off to all of you. We also released the March Persistent Universe monthly report, which sparked some great conversations across Spectrum, Discord and Reddit. Our teams are already deep into development on Alpha 4.1.1 with even more exciting content just around the corner. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to catch up on all the latest insights in our latest comm links. Now, what's going on this week? So Wednesday, we've got a roadmap update and roadmap roundup, keeping you up to date on what's going on in Star Citizen development. Hopefully that should have some 4.1.1 information in there as well. There is no Star Citizen Live again this week, but they will be back next week with a new show. CIG and Disco Lando actually said recently we're still going to have hiatuses, we're still going to have pauses after a major patch, especially where we are not creating shows, and the change in monthly patch cadence means that we'll have Behind the Ships turning up sometimes, and then interchangeably we're going to have Star Citizen Live and Inside Star Citizen from week to week. We'll have a newsletter and new sneak peek on Friday though, and then on Saturday we've got a fan event System 7's third race. I'll chuck all the details of that stuff in the comments down below. That this week in Star Citizen Post, along with the financial statements from CIG from Company's House. If you wish to peruse that 50-page document, be my guest. Boom! That's it for your Star Citizen updates today. Really interested to know your experiences on 4.1 at the moment on that live build. What are you expecting and hoping to see from 4.1.1? Are you excited that CIG may post their financial statements on the Cloud Imperium Games website in the near future? So I'm super excited to see some of that stuff there and get a bit more context for those filings. But whatever your thoughts, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. A good reason to comment is that we're giving away 3 different prizes this month. Well, the same prize to 3 different people. A Drake Golem with lifetime insurance and a game package. All you need to play Star Citizen. One of those was given to us by CIG. Thank you very much for that. Just comment on any of our videos made during April to be in for a chance of winning one of those 3 ships. Also down below, we've got things like links to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Oh, big discounts on NordVPN. I use it. Maybe you'll like it as well because it gives you better protections on the internet with better visibility, accessibility, and securitability on the interwebs. Also got links down below for THRUSTMASTER stuff, cool sticks for Star Citizen, and Toby Eye Tracker, cool eye tracking and head tracking for Star Citizen. All gives us a little kickback when you click on those links and purchase those products. So consider clicking those links. And oh, there's Game Glass as well at the moment. Game Glass big sale going on with that, so check that out as well. Just links down below. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great rest of your April, and I hope to see you in the verse.